Now let's tell you what's happening in China. Not what you see in the headlines around the world, but what people in China are talking about. And these are two completely different things. The headlines say China is conducting a massive drill around Taiwan. There are ships, there are warplanes, they're threatening the island's independence. But inside China, people are living in a different bubble. They're hooked onto a TV series, a series called The Knockout. Do you know what it's about? Xi Jinping's anti-corruption crackdown. The Knockout is a fictional story based on real events. It is centered around an honest cop trying to take down a corrupt party boss. Needless to say, the Chinese state was involved in the making of the show. Chinese propagandists are resorting to crime shows now to send their message across. The idea is to burnish Xi Jinping's credentials as an anti-corruption crusader. And this fictional story mirrors reality in more ways than one. Beijing is carrying out a fresh round of purge. The target this time is the Communist Party itself. In the last 10 years, the president has gone after every wing of the Chinese government. Now he's focusing on the party itself. Thousands of cases have been filed. Several officials have been punished. In fact, I have some numbers. Chinese officials say they received 776,000 whistleblower letters, 776,000 letters. Out of these, 231,000 led to formal complaints and prosecution. A total of 138,000 cases were filed. Do you know how many officials were punished? A whopping 111,000, 111,000 officials. And all this happened in the first quarter of this year. But Xi Jinping is not done yet. He set a new target. The anti-corruption units themselves, the very same officials who were carrying out the crackdown, are now under the lens, at least 20 of them to begin with. They worked for two powerful anti-corruption units, the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection and the National Supervisory Commission. When Xi Jinping came to power, he weaponized these units. He said he was cleaning up the Chinese system. He was, in fact, eliminating his rivals. Since 2012, he's carried out a series of crackdowns. More than 4 million officials have been purged in China. 4 million, 40 lakh officials punished in the name of corruption. They came from all parts of the Chinese state, the military, the government, the regulators, and now the Communist Party too. And they belong to all ranks. From the top bosses to the junior-most workers. In China, they call them tigers and flies. Tigers are the high-ranking officials, flies are the juniors. All of them face the axe. And Beijing used each and every story as a propaganda tool. This TV series, The Knockout, is part of that same effort. Though it's not the first such show. Earlier, there was a show called Zero Tolerance, a series of documentaries featuring convicted officials. They made on-screen confessions about their crimes. It was a bit like reality TV. When these episodes came out, Xi Jinping said, and I'm quoting, "There must be zero tolerance for any abuses of power by party members. Only by carrying out self-reform will the CCP keep itself invigorating as a ruling party." And that's what the cleanups are all about. Keeping the party in power, protecting the reign of Xi Jinping. But why does he feel the need to do that? Well, to understand that, you must understand the current challenges of China. Their economy is stagnating, millions are without a job, and there is a growing burden of debt. We're talking about trillions of dollars of debt. Xi Jinping has not been able to fix any of it. So there is discontent. And instead of addressing these concerns, he's going after his people. He calls it an anti-corruption purge. Let me quote from what he said in January this year. "Corrupt officials who show no sign of restraint should be punished. Corruption that involves both political and economic elements should be resolutely investigated and dealt with." These are the words of the Chinese president. His propaganda machine amplifies the message, and as the economy of China worsens, the crackdown intensifies.